We pulling?
Hey, I'm Zax, and here's our guide to Cauldron of Carnage, the second boss in Liberation of Undermine. This guide is brought to you by Wowhead and their raid cheat sheets, which we'll tell you more about right after the boss. Also, big thank you to our supporters on Patreon. Hope you'll enjoy all the Patreon exclusive content we've got coming out this tier, like mythic walkthrough guides and more. Alright, so Cauldron is a 2-boss fight, where you split the bosses up and fight them on opposite sides of the room most of the time. There's only one phase, it's almost entirely single target, and you want to bloodlust on pull. Before pulling, split your raid evenly between the two bosses, because you eventually want to kill the bosses around the same time, because when one dies, the other one starts a ramping in rage. Once you pull, the bosses have to be kept over 40 yards apart from each other, because they go immune if they're too close together, and everyone should stay over 60 yards away from the opposite boss, because they both pull stacks of their own dot on players in range, and you definitely don't want to be stacking up both dots. On the left side of the room, you've got Florendo, the big T-Rex. When he puts this big bomb on the ground near a random player, everyone on that side needs to stand in its circle when it's exploding in order to reduce the amount of raid-wide damage it does. On Heroic, the bomb also leaves a big pool of fire on the ground forever, so everyone should stay grouped up near the wall to bait the spawn of the bomb so you don't fill up that whole side of the room too fast. And also dodge the little waves that come from where the bomb was. When the boss starts aiming this beam at a random player, that player needs to point the beam away from the other boss's side of the room so they don't have to deal with it, and then everyone needs to dodge the beam. When the boss casts Eruption Stomp, the tank should use a defensive, because it does a lot of damage and knocks them up into the air, and everyone else should dodge the lava waves that come from where the tank was. And on Heroic, everyone should spread out after each bomb soak, because you all get this fire circle around you that pulses AoE damage for a few seconds. Just try to stay toward the wall during this to bait the next bomb spawn. On the right side of the room, you've got Torque, the big gorilla. Everyone on this side gets this resource bar that goes up when you move around and goes down when you stand still, and if you fill the bar all the way up, you get stunned for a few seconds. So you just have to try to limit your movement a little bit on this side. When everyone gets these marks on their head, you all have to dodge the circles that get spam dropped at your feet for a few seconds, which forces you to fill up your movement bar a little bit, but you can stutter step around to keep it from filling too much. When the boss casts Lightning Bash, the tank should use a defensive because it just does a lot of damage to them. And on Heroic, when these voltaic image ads spawn and fixate random players and run toward them, everyone should avoid coming into contact with them because they explode in 10 yards and leave lightning on the ground if you do. And everyone should help CC them to keep them from running around until they expire after a few seconds and just despawn. So that's it for the mechanics of each side, but finally, every time the bosses reach full energy, they both charge to the middle of the room and clash with each other for 20 seconds. They're not immune during this, and none of their usual mechanics are going on, but they crank a ton of raid damage and spawn a bunch of circles and waves to dodge. So everyone on both sides should come toward the middle to be in range of all the healers. And then when the clash is over and the bosses slide back to their sides, everyone needs to switch to the opposite boss than the one they were just on and move over to it. This resets that dot from the previous boss that's been stacking up on you. And then it's rinse and repeat, and that's pretty much it. For our recaps this tier, check out the new and improved Wowhead cheat sheets, a quick and easy way to get all of the key info for every boss in Liberation of Undermine, including concise strategies, key assignments, and any pro tips you might need. So check out the cheat sheet link in the description. And thanks again to our supporters on Patreon. We've got a ton of Patreon exclusive content coming this tier, like extended heroic guides, mythic walkthrough guides, and a weekly podcast. So check out that link below. See you next time.